We're good to go in next, say, 30 seconds.
Yeah, we can take even 2 minutes. I don't have a problem.
So we are going live on YouTube, sir. Students will be watching it on YouTube. We have few participants who've joined us on Zoom call. So we, I guess, are already live on YouTube. We can begin.
Okay. You want to give people a little bit of time to log on to YouTube or what?
They've already joined on YouTube, sir. So we can begin.
Okay, great. So let me do two things. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you can hear me nice and clear. Akanksha, can you hear me? Okay, fantastic. So there's Akanksha there, and am I seeing Ayman somewhere, Akanksha, or?
Veera, she had joined in, but I guess she got disconnected, so she's just rejoining back in a minute.
Okay, so Ayman will join. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Veera. The lady on the other side you can see is Akanksha. You can see her. And there's another.
Hi, everyone.
Ayman, you can say hi.
Hi everyone.
Hi, everybody. That's Ayman, Akanksha. My name is Veera. We are all part of the large Reliance Brands Limited family. And we are going to be spending about an hour over here with all of you. Very happy to have met Nidhi and the entire team and INIFD. We have been visiting campuses over the last maybe 4 years, limited campuses. So this time, when we spoke to INIFD and they came to us, we thought we should just do a common campus pre-placement talk for everybody all together. And so that, we just have more opportunities for everybody. And and then hear from you if you're interested in a career in the kind of role that fashion consultant role, just get in touch with us. We got a process aligned for that. So I think we should be good to go. Rishabh, just once more, are you checking? I hope they can hear us well on YouTube Live. Also, if there's any change required, I can do it right now before we go ahead.
You're clearly audible, sir. We are good to go.
Good to go.
So, good afternoon, students. Always a pleasure seeing you here. So, let me do one thing to give a little bit of an outline of what we are going to do. What we have done between Ayman, Akanksha, and me, we have divided this into two parts. The first part is an introduction to the organization. That will take about 15-20 minutes, and then any questions are most welcome. After that, we will talk a little bit about what we have on offer, which I know is the most important thing. क्या नौकरी मिलेगा, कहाँ मिलेगा, क्या नौकरी है, क्या करना है, what do we need to do on the job, what is the salary, and all those things. So we'll cover that in the second half, so you don't have to worry. The second thing I want to let you know, I have about 30 people on this, about 25 people on the Zoom call. My request to you, at any point of time, if you want to put in a question or something like that, just drop it in the chat box. I may not answer it as soon as you put the question there, but during the course of the call, we'll do that. And I was talking to somebody who set up this particular campus pre-placement talk, and I said, I told them the same thing that I'm going to tell you now. We are not here to talk for 1 hour about our organization. I'm hoping that you will know about the organization. We keep that short. I'm here to answer all your questions. And I have two people whose main job is recruitment. So they know everything about the business. They know more than me about what kind of people we want, how do they hire. So we've got a team of people to answer those questions, and we'll explain the process. Okay. Is that good to go? I think there are some 14, 15 of you students from many of your institutes like Pitampura and Gurgaon and Kothurud and all of them. Are we good to go?
Yes, sir.
You're sure?
Yes, sir.
You're sure. Okay. Thank you very much, Bichita. Done. Good. The organization that I work for, the organization that we are presenting to you today is a company called Reliance Brands Limited. Let me put up a small presentation and then we will go from there. Easier. Great. And This is a small presentation. It's got about 25, 26 slides. Some of them are just to show you a photograph that's just about it. Akanksha, can you see my slide?
Yes, Fira.
Okay. Great. So, so we are a company called Reliance Brands, and let me tell you, over the next 15 minutes, I'll take you through this small deck to tell you about our organization. So we are part of a large organization called Reliance Industries. I'm sure many of you know Reliance Industries. I don't have to tell you too much about it. We are possibly we are the largest organization in this country. We are about, I think, in the Forbes top 100 organizations in the world. I think we are at around 195 or 104 or something like that. I'm hoping that you will go and learn about it yourself. I'm not going to talk too much about it. So this is about Reliance Industries. This is a very, very important slide, and I think this is so important for students like you. Our fundamental belief is growth. We want growth at all times. Everything that we do, we are saying we need to grow. And because of this growth mindset, what happens is we need more and more people all the time. We need more and more youngsters. We need more and more people like you to take up larger roles. And therefore, I think that's a good space to be. You would have noticed over the last 15 years that anything we do, we try to expand the base. So what started off as a small business, we try and grow it to make it really in a massive scale. And our erstwhile ex-chairman, Mr. Dhirubhai Ambani, continuously says that our job is to give more opportunities for everybody to create wealth for themselves. So whether it is an employee, whether it's an investor, whether it is a shareholder, everybody needs to grow. And at the same time, even customers need to get benefits. So that's also, you will realize a lot of our businesses are customer-centric in their nature. That's one thing. This is a small slide on what's happening in terms of Reliance Retail. Those numbers are really massive. I'll give you a small something to let you know. We open about 3 stores on an average a day. We open 3 stores a day. Reliance Retail opens 3 stores a day. We do almost 1,000 stores every year, and we are across now almost 400 cities. And if you include towns and small talukas and all of that, we have a reach of 7,000 plus places. Lots and lots of footfalls, about 12,000 stores. That is what Reliance Retail is all about. I want to show you one more slide. I'm not going to talk too much about our revenue. Let me just let it pass. If I remember right, the last year's numbers, 135,000 crores was the top line revenue of Reliance Retail. Okay. It's massive. That's about it. I think the entire retail, other than Reliance put together, they will not even come to half of what our revenue is. That's how big, massive it is. So Reliance Retail has got many, many parts to it. And the part that somebody like all of us on this call represent, which is Ayman, Akanksha, Vasudha, Veera, we are part of this particular piece, which is called RBN. Okay, we are part of a small group which is called RBN. That's what you can see over here. Why is it not writing? Sorry, just a moment. Okay, yeah, okay, I got it. Can you see this? That's Reliance Brands. We are part of Reliance Brands. Reliance has got multiple facets. They are into fashion and lifestyle, which is Trends, Marks and Spencer's, Ajio, all of that. Of course, all of you know we are in the grocery business, JioMart, JioFresh, and then we are in the Jio business, which is a very, very large business, Jio, Reliance Digital, all of that. We also run a very nice jewelry business called Reliance Jewels. All of these are what is called in the base of the market. And we have a small organization, which is the organization that we represent. It's called Reliance Brands Limited. We do 2-3 things. It's called RBN. One is we are in the fashion and lifestyle business. We are in the food and beverage business. And we play a very small part in the beauty business. So those are the 3 things that we do. We are not going to recruit for the beauty business or any of those. Let me tell you that we are largely going to recruit for the fashion and lifestyle business. Okay, so that's the first part. A quick introduction. We are a 14-year-old organization. We completed 14 years last week. We are in the business of launching international brands and domestic brands in this country. We are largely in the apparel and footwear space, and a lot of lifestyle that we have added recently. So a lot of lifestyle. We are a large organization in the sense that we have a lot of domain experience. We understand international brands. Anybody who comes to India will certainly, if you're a luxury or a bridge to luxury or a premium brand, you want to come and speak to us because we understand marketing very well. We understand handling consumers exceptionally well. And we are very strong in operations, which means we know how to run our stores very well. We also have a lot of e-commerce enterprise inside our organization. What do we do? What are our core business areas? We have partnership with large brands. So I'll show you a list of the brands that we have partnership with. We also have what's called private equity investments. So if some of you understand what we do, we take a nice niche international brand or even a local brand. We help them grow. If we find that the business model is interesting, if we find that we have a story to tell the Indian consumer, we put money in that. That's what private equity. But we allow that brand to grow on its own. We also have our own brands and concepts. Unfortunately, in this time that we have, I will not be able to show you a video, but we have 3 to 4 brands that we do. Some of you, if you've heard of Satyapal, it's a brand that we are running now. We have a beautiful brand called TWC, which is the White Crow. We have 4 stores: Chandigarh, Hyderabad, Ahmedabad, and Surat. We also have 2 beautiful tank stores, one in Bombay and one in Delhi. So these are some of our own brands. And we also do acquisition of international brands. So some of you are not aware. Families globally is owned by Reliance Brands. So that's a little bit about what we do. Good. I'm going to take a bit of a pause here and allow you to just sort of see this particular slide. We have a long history of partnerships. So over the next 10 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a little bit of the brands that we have. Some of them you will be aware of because all of you are from fashion and you understand this category. So you know some of them. Some of them will be new to you. We'll also tell you a little bit about the stores and what we do. So we started in 2000. We actually started in 2007. 2003, we launched Satyapal as a brand for multiple stores. Otherwise, it was more of a designer brand even before that. But we launched it in a big way. We've been having lots of them: Hamleys, Diesel, Bottega, Jimmy Choo, Canali, all of them. Then sometime in 2017, what we did, there was another large organization in India called Genesis. We acquired Genesis and therefore our portfolio almost doubled. And then we added a lot more brands. And sometime in 2018, Mothercare was, they wanted to find a new partner. They wanted some partner which would have a lot of muscle to grow the business. So we took over Mothercare. And then Hamleys International, it was run by a Chinese company. They wanted to get out of the business. They were not able to manage it the way they expected them. They had other businesses to do. So therefore, we also took over the Hamleys global business. So we own the Hamleys branding. And that's what we have been doing. Good. I'm going to take a pause here and now I'm going to leave it open for a bit of questions if anybody has. This is a bit of the partnerships that we have. We have 39 brands in total. And yes, casual wear, menswear, which is called tailored clothing. We also have women's wear. We do a lot of handbags and footwear. I mean, some of the most iconic handbag and footwear brands that you can see in this market. We run all of them. We run the finest jewelry, high fashion jewelry companies store in India. It's run by us. We also run a few lifestyle brands, and of course, Hamleys and Mothercare in the kids segment. Absolutely beautiful portfolio. I want to take a pause here, and if anybody has got any questions that you want to, you think is relevant to ask, I am happy to answer or listen to some of them. Okay. Done. So I'm going to go ahead. So I also know how students in the group are. If they see the logo of INFD and if they see that their faculty is there, nobody wants to ask any questions. So let me tell you, I have already told, except for one person, I have told most of the faculty to not be on the call. So many of them are not there. We believe very strongly that you should hire people who are interested in our brand. We are happy to answer hundreds of questions. Somebody sent me a mail saying, how many questions can you answer? We'll sit till 6 o'clock here. We don't have any time. We don't have a problem. We just want to ensure that if you want to join us, you know what you're getting into, because it's a very interesting business and we want people to be here for a long time. So feel free to ask any questions. There's a Zoom chat box. There's a YouTube chat box is what I hear. So if you have a question, I'm free. I'm open to answering all of them. And I believe there are representatives in this particular call, people like Nidhi and Shraddha and Hania and Tamalika. So if you see any questions over there, just feel free to either drop it in the chat box or just simply ask a question. Otherwise, I'm just going to continue. Okay. So these are the set of brands that we have. If you're interested in casual wear, we have a large range of casual wear brands. We have, I think, the finest portfolio of denim brands that you can get in this country. We have Diesel, Armani Exchange, Play, G-Star. All of them are core denim brands. Of course, Armani Exchange is a top there, but otherwise core denim brands. And at a higher end, I don't know if all of you are aware, Hermenegildo, Xenia, Hugo Boss, Canali, all of them have possibly the finest denims that you can find. So in that, I think that's a good bucket that we have. And anybody wants to have good footwear and handbags, I don't think you can beat this combination except for Gucci and LV, which is Louis Vuitton. Almost every other brand worth their name is operates through Reliance Brands. So that's a bit of our portfolio. Want to let you know today in this call, and at the end of the call, we'll let you know. We are also hiring for Hamleys, we are hiring for Mother Care, and we are happy to have some of you for those brands. So if you're interested in a category of children where you're happy to be playing, wearing cool uniforms, playing in the store, bringing joy to people's lives, we are also happy to hire for those positions.
I think Niharika has a question. Niharika has a question. She's raised her hand.
Please go ahead.
Niharika, you there?
Yes, sir. I've typed my question in the chat box that what are the various factors that you consider while collaborating with the brands, like all of these.
Oh. So Niharika, I forgot to tell you, difficult questions are not. So yeah, that was a bit of a joke. Let me do one thing. I'll keep it, Niharika, to the last if you don't mind. I'll just complete this and come back because it's a question that requires a slightly more elongated answer. Would that be okay,
sir.
Niharika?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Tamalika, you were saying something. You wanted to ask something, Tamalika. You also raise your hand. Can't hear you, Tamalika. I'm sorry, we can't hear you. Okay, Deepshika, any question? Anything that you want to ask?
Yes, sir.
Please go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Good
Deepshika.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I'm from HSR Bangalore.
Okay.
INIFD. So my question is that what are the major software skills that companies are looking for in a potential candidate?
Okay, I will answer that once we finish this segment. I have made a note of that also.
Yeah, sir. Okay, sir.
Okay. Yes. Deepshika, you were saying something?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Deepshika is done. Anybody else? Kamalika? Done. And Shivani, any of you can even drop your question on the chat box and I'll be happy to answer it there.
Harleen has a question. She wants to understand that can any potential candidate or employee grow from operations like sales to other fields like backend, workhouse, warehouse, other departments other than sales?
Yes, Harleen, I saw that question. Yes, you can do that and I explained it in some bit of detail in the second part of today's conversation. Yes, you can do that. You can move into warehouse and other things. And Vasudha, is it possible if they want to have a warehouse job? will we be able to take them as a special case or no?
Well, not at the moment, but
Okay.
yes, of course, we would love to explore you. My open suggestion to each one of you, guys, we'll be looking at certain roles at the moment, which is going to be a stepping, you can say stepping stage within RBL, which probably we're going to be sharing as to the precise details around what the role is, what it calls for, and probably that will excite you. Is when we would say you can go up the journey, whatever department you would want to be absorbing. So we'll come on to that one.
Done. So just drop your questions. I've got all the 3 questions that you have said. I will answer them as we go along. Shivani, if you have a question, you have a time to speak now. Otherwise, just drop it in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Shivani.
Yes, sir. Hello, sir. So basically, my is that how the student it improves while working with RBL brands.
Can you please repeat, Shivani, if you don't mind?
Yes, sir. So my question is that how does the growth of student improves while working with RBL brands?
Okay, Reliance Brands. Okay, you want to know
Yes.
how people grow.
Yes, yes.
Done. We will cover that. We are talking about it in the second half. That's also
Okay,
there.
sir.
You're talking about career growth, right? You're not talking about height and weight, no, Shivani?
No.
Okay.
Yes, the career growth.
Okay, we'll cover that for sure in the second half.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Just a check. You can see my slide which says fashion pyramid, right? Akanksha, was it that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, done. I'm going to take 2 minutes on this slide. This is called the fashion pyramid. This is more. Many of you come from a fashion background, but still it's important to sort of tell you this. Many of us believe that in fashion you do not know what brand is luxury, what brand is premium. It's not there. The reality is that there is a broad outline of what is luxury and what is super luxury and what is affordable luxury across all categories. We have just put this up to give a little bit of flavor. We have a lot of brands in the luxury segment. Luxury means handbags which sell for 70,000, 1 lakh, shoes which sell for 50 to a lakh, and brands which have got a heritage, brands which are known for their quality, their exquisite craftsmanship, suits which sell at a higher amount. So those are, luxury is not only price, but yes, price is a big is an easy way to explain this to you. We have a lot of brands in the luxury segment. And I think a large part of our business also is in what's called affordable luxury. So things that all like people like you and me, if we aspire to own them, we can also own them. So things like an Emporio Armani or Hugo Boss or a Diesel or a Coach, these are all brands that are what are called affordable luxury brands. And then we have a lot of premium brands. Premium are slightly higher than your mainstream brands. So they will obviously be of a superior quality. They will be of a, what do I call? They will be on trend. They will be something that you can flaunt. And they are really not needs, they are really wants and desires. So that's our overall business. How many stores do we have in total? We have about 590 odd stores. There's 568. We have opened a few more stores after that. And then we also have what are called shop-in-shops. For some of you who don't know, shop-in-shops are stores inside bigger stores. So we operate inside multiple channels like Reliance, Smart, Lifestyle, Shoppers Stop, Capstans, I forget the Capstans. So there are multiple brands that operate something like department stores. Inside that, we also have a store, just like that. So those are the kind of stores. We have another 750 there. So in total, we have about 1,300, 1,400 of our outlets. Many of you today are thinking, do we have an online presence? Yes. We have a lot of presence on the e-commerce space. Just like most other brands, we are, depending on the kind of brand that we have, we are available across multiple channels. There are some of our brands are on Flipkart and Amazon. Some of our brands are on Tata Click Luxury, Agio and Agio Lux. And some of our brands are on Myntra also. We also have our own .com sites, which are lots of them. If you want to shop, I also recommend that you strongly go here. So we have gasjeans.in, mothercare.in, satyapal.in, brooksbrothers.in, a lot of sites that are families.in, stevemadden.in. All of these sites are e-commerce sites. You can go and shop. Yeah, unless you, today I'm not able to talk a little more, but many of these sites are very, very unique. You'll have to go to the sites to know why they are unique. They are not like your regular Flipkart and Amazon sites. They are curated, keeping our brands in mind, curated, keeping our philosophy in mind. So it's slightly a very differentiated experience. Next, you want to know how many people and what we are proud of. We own Hamleys. Hamleys has about, on last count, 72 stores across the world, and in India we have 130. So Hamleys has about 200 stores across the world. We will be opening in the US, which Hamleys has never had. We are opening in new store. I think next month we are opening in Qatar. We are opening in Albania. We are opening in South Africa, Australia. So we believe that the Hamleys brand is the next big thing in the toy world. A little bit of a idea of our Hamleys store. Let me show you a photograph. This is the Regent Street store. What do I tell you? Hamleys is a 260-year-old brand. Regent Street store attracts as many customers into the store and tourists into the store as much as the Buckingham Palace does. Okay, so if you go and look at the 10 must-do places to visit in London, Hamleys is one of them, and that's how big the Regent Street store is. It's 7 stories, possibly as big as many of the malls in our city itself. So that's a massive store. We also have a beautiful concept called the White Crow. If you're in Ahmedabad, Surat, Chandigarh, or Hyderabad, you should go and visit them. We are opening our next White Crow store in Jaipur, and in about 3 weeks' time, we'll open another one in Dehradun, and we'll open one more in Raipur. So you're going to be seeing a lot of the White Crow stores. I can't explain it to you. You just have to go there to see what kind of a stunning store this is. This is the photograph of one of our. This is the Ahmedabad store. You can imagine what a beautiful store this is. Many of you have seen Ajio. How many of you have seen Ajio? You want to raise of hands, please, on Zoom? How many of you shop on Ajio? Anybody shops on Ajio? No. You want to just put a show of hands? Okay, I can see a few of them. Ajio is certainly a newer entrant into the space. Myntra, Flipkart, and Tata Click are much bigger. But let me only tell you, once you go into Ajio and once you get hooked onto it, becoming bigger and bigger as we speak. Inside Ajio, we have a small segment called Ajio Lux. So if you go into the app, right on top, you'll find an arrow. You click on that and you see Ajio and Ajio Lux. On Ajio Lux, you will find a lot of Reliance brand portfolio brands there. So our company, Reliance Brands, runs the Ajio Lux. Very unique. We have 3 offices, about 700 employees in the corporate office, and about 4,400 as we speak of retail stores. So about 5,000 people as we speak now. Okay, 4,300, 4,400. And we don't need this. I don't need this. That's a little bit of an outline of what we want to discuss about our organization. I'm going to quickly sum up. 39 brands, all of them in the premium bridge to luxury and luxury space. We operate in about 27 cities as we speak. We are looking for people, and very specially an offer for the INIFD. We are doing this separately. We have positions. Akanksha or Ayman will share the position that we have with you. That will be the next segment, where we'll talk about what we have to offer. We are looking entry-level positions only in the store, so we are not looking at corporate office. So do not ask for corporate office now. It's only store-level positions. We had 3 questions, so let me quickly answer them before I take a small break, and then between Ayman and Akanksha, the next set. Somebody asked about software skills. So if you're asking me a generic question, I don't have an answer. If you're joining Reliance Brands, do you need software skills? Whatever you need to know on the job, whatever you need to know, you can learn it on the job. So I don't think you need to worry about it. To give you a very generic answer, as long as you can learn SAP and you can learn what's called a point of sale system, which are easy to do, I don't think there's a challenge. Okay, so that's as far as software skills are concerned. Somebody spoke about what do you look for when taking a brand. So a very interesting question. I will try and put it in as simple words as possible. The good news is that Reliance Brands, in the space that we are in, which is bridge to luxury, luxury in the premium segment, because we run almost 600 stores and we have expertise in the local market, we have expertise in finding the right location, And we have expertise in hiring and running good store operations like all of us. And now we are building some very deep expertise in running what we call high quality omni-channel operations in the e-commerce space. So when we put all of this together, anybody who wants to come to India would love to come and deal with Reliance Brands. And obviously it's a Reliance name here. You know it, the kind of backing that we have to run for the long term. That's why people come. I may not be able to give you an exact answer on what we want to do, but let me tell you, keeping whatever is there, what do? We like brands. We do only long-term deals. We do not want to bring a brand for 1 or 2 years. So we only say 20 years, 25 years. That's the first ethos. Second, we bring brands, have heritage, and we bring brands which people want to wear. So there's something called a fad or a trend, and there's something called an organization which is here for the long run. So you look at many of our brands. We have brands which have been in existence for 100 years, 200 years, 250 years, 75 years. These are the large section of brands that we have. So though you will find a couple of brands which are new, cutting edge, latest, like maybe a Cult Gaia or a jacket or something like that. Otherwise, we have brands which have been with us for a long time. Lastly, what is very important, we want to bring brands which will run, people will love to wear in the Indian market for a long time. We are not in the business of bringing a brand and then the brand is not able to sustain themselves. We don't do that. So we always bring brands which have a heritage, which are able to sustain themselves. So that's a little bit of an answer to that particular question. I am going, there are 2-3 more questions.
Sir, let me announce the names one by one. I guess that'll be easier for us to, address the queries. So Bangalore, Deepshika, I think you already asked your question. Next, I have is Akanksha from Bhopal. Akanksha, if you're there, please switch your video on and unmute yourself as we move on to the next candidate. Akanksha, if you're there, Akanksha from Bhopal. Okay, next is Niharika from Chandigarh. Niharika, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Please switch your camera on, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yes, sir. So my question was that what expectations do you have from the people working with you at present? And are these expectations expected to change with time or in future?
You want me to answer, Vasudha? Or? Okay, I'll keep it really short. Good question. What do you expect? I am presuming you're talking about fashion consultants.
Yes, sir.
All that we want. Can you have a smile every day morning? Can you come in and show some energy? Are you happy to meet people? That is our expectation. That will continue to be our expectation. Whether you are a fashion consultant, store manager, store director, head of operations, it's the same expectation. If you have these 4, everything else follows.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's all that's needed.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, can I just answer a few other questions that have come in so that we just complete this? Saurabh Jain is asked, I have VM internship experience. Can I work in VM for brands? Saurabh, if you want to be in VM in our organization, we have a methodology of moving you from stores to organization. From stores to visual merchandising. As of now, we only have store open positions. So if you're interested in a store position, just simply, we will explain the process to you. And I think that's the best way to do it. Nidhi Kedawat from Jaipur is asking, I'm not able to handle pressure. Will somebody help me? Nidhi, honest question. You come and attend the interview. If you're selected, don't worry. We will help you handle the pressure. But the reality is that I'm hoping that your colleges help you manage all of that. If you get selected, don't worry. We will make sure that you are groomed to be successful in your job. Our job is to make you successful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Training and progression, Isha, of course there is. We are going to be sharing that as we go along. There are lots of opportunities for you to grow inside as a career progression opportunity. That's certainly going to be. Can I do one thing, Rishabh? Can I request between Akanksha and Ayman to do the HR thing? Because I think somebody asked saying, what's the salary? So let's get on with the most important part. I think it will make life a little more easier. Is that okay, Ayman, Akanksha?
Sure, Veera. I'll share my screen.
Yep.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is INIFD. I'm going to be taking you through the entire HR slide. Just sharing my screen. Let me know once it's visible.
Yes, Simon, we can see your screen now.
All right.
You just have to make it on that view.
Sure, I'll just do that. So most of the questions have already been asked by a lot of you in terms of your career progression platforms. What is the job profile all about? What is it that the company has to offer? And a lot of things we also covered in terms of the entire company portfolio and what Reliance Retail is all about, what RBL as a company is all about, what is the brand portfolio we cater to. So I'm just going to reiterate on some important factors that will actually help you understand what is it that's going to be there for you in case if you be a part of Reliance Brands Limited as a fashion consultant. So just reiterating that we have approximately 1,000 plus doors spread across 25 plus cities in India and abroad, with an employee strength of approximately 5,000 people, working both at the front end and the back end level. So the age group that we have here in RBL is quite a young bunch of people, similar to you all. So if we talk about fashion consultants, we have an average age group of people ranging from 25 to 28 years of age. So that's the kind of young crowd, who usually work at the front end level here in RBL. Apart from that, the company's culture is extremely transparent, friendly. I mean, there's no boss culture. People are very, very comfortable talking to their immediate managers, Arvind. So it's going to be a lot of exposure for you if you become a part of RBL. You get to take different sort of opportunities. And it's not necessarily that you have to complete a certain duration. All you have to do is that you should have that hunger within you, and all that you have to do is just speak to your R1, and he or she will open doors for you, in the time to come in the organization. So a complete cool contemporary environment to work for. And not just that, if you visit our stores, it's very cool to work at. It has a lot of contemporary area that you see, which is very fancy, whether you talk about the offices or the stores. I'm sure a lot of you must have visited the malls, and major part of it is covered, and is a part of RBL. You visit Armani Exchange, you visit Superdry, you visit Hunk Mola, you visit Scotch and Soda. All of it is a part of RBL. So you get to have a vibe which is different for each brand that is part of the RBL. Apart from that, there are a lot of musicians, DJs, artists who work with us, both at our offices and at retail stores. So we have a lot of known elite personalities working with us in the offices. You also get a chance to not just limit yourself to one particular brand. This is actually a perk that helps you, plan your career progression well within the organization. For example, a lot of you were asking that, what is it that I have in hand if I become a part of the organization, whether I would be whether I would be able to kind of, cater to a VM department or the learning and development department, or for that matter, different brands in the same portfolio. So the answer is yes, but because we have multiple options for your career progression platform, one of which is IJP, which is the internal job posting program. So in that, if you start your career with RBL, for example, if you complete 18 months in the organization, you automatically get a chance to explore different brands also, irrespective of whether you've been chosen for a particular set of brand. For example, if there's anybody who has been hired for Satyapal brand, that person, if completes 18 months in the organization, automatically gets a chance to apply for an internal job posting for other brands in the same level. And obviously, talking about the career progression, we also have a concept called the Rock and Rap program, which Veera was just giving a hint of for people who want to explore the front end as well as the back end level as well. So with that, if you are a consistent top performer in the first 6 months of your duration, if you're a fashion consultant, you get a chance to directly become an assistant store manager in your same brand or in other brands if you get an opportunity for. And not just that, if you also, Rock and Rap is a kind of program wherein for Rock, you get a chance to become an ASM in the brand, which is working at the front end level. And Rap program automatically gets you to work at a back end level, provided there should be an opportunity in the same grade, whether it's going to be a VM or a planning department or a learning and development department. So these two basic programs are there, which actually helps you plan your career within the organization well. And like we already said that we have plethora of options to choose from with respect to the brands, categories, the locations that we have in India. So that is something that will give the liberty to choose with respect to which location you would want to opt for. But obviously, choosing a particular brand and getting shortlisted for it is going to be the company's final call. Talking about some more benefits that the company has to offer to all its employees, out of which one is the medical benefit. Highlighting it especially during these times, because until last year it was all okay. People used to get their medical insurance coverage, but during the COVID times, the company has helped all its employees, get the proper treatment with respect to COVID, not just for their self, but for the family members also who were covered in the insurance plan. So we help people to get their vaccination done of both the doses. We help people to help the coverage of home isolation expenses or hospitalization expenses. So all of it was covered in this medical benefit. For you all specifically, whoever will get shortlisted for a fashion consultant position, which is the entry level job, you will get a benefit of 2.5 lakhs of coverage. Okay, so this will actually help you have approximately 7 direct dependents that will get covered in this particular insurance plan, and a very minimum amount of the insurance get deducted from your monthly salary every month. If you also wish to add for a top up of an extra 2.5 lakhs, then you can do so. Obviously, there's going to be some extra deduction, which I'll tell you in detail later on in this slide. Apart from that, with the portfolio of 39 plus brands in the company, you also get to avail special discounts on a lot of products. For example, Uno is such program for you wherein you are able to kind of avail approximately 40% discount on apparels and 15% discounts on accessories. Likewise, Juno is also a kind of option for you to avail discounts twice in every year, which is at the end of season sale, wherein you not only are eligible to get a 40% discount, but also an additional of 20% discount as well. So a lot of extra benefits in terms of doing shopping from our own brand with additional discounts is applicable for Reliance employees. And for a lot of people who also asked in terms of the career progression platforms, I also missed highlighting that we have a lot of LinkedIn Coursera courses, which will actually help you not just understand your own area of interest, but also in case if you want to explore other areas within the same company. For example, if there's anybody who's interested in learning more of operations, you have a lot of options to choose from the categories available on LinkedIn Learning and Coursera. And there you can probably take up courses and get the certifications of it as well. You also tend to get uniform allowances. That's not a part of the CTC, but that's an additional benefit that the employees get, for whichever brand you get shortlisted for. Accordingly, you will get a uniform allowance, which means you will be able to have the merchandise of that particular brand for a season, for the 6-month duration, and accordingly it gets changed and assigned to you. We also have Rockstar reward points for people working at the front end level. These are certain benefits that's available for people that they can claim in terms of, for example, you want to kind of be a part of certain rituals, which only is organized for the corporate level people. So with that Rockstar reward points, you are able to kind of participate in that particular ritual as well. So Rockstar reward actually helps you earn certain points, which you can claim and reimburse in a lot of activities that you will come to know later on when you join and be a part of the company. So it actually helps you to kind of claim your points with respect to if you want to kind of attend a session or if you want to kind of meet the CEO of the company and a lot of other factors as well. that's available here in the company. So I already have given a gist of what the career progression platforms we have here at RBL. I told you about the IG. Yes, Veera.
I mean, just a thought here, because I think students will also be waiting for the role and other things. So I think we can just say there are 3 questions that I also saw. We have a standard appraisal process. So everybody knows once you join, after 6 months, there's a confirmation process and there's an appraisal process. So everybody gets appraised. You will get feedback on what you're good at, not good at. So you don't have to worry about it. If you are good in your stores, in your performance, we have a very structured rock and wrap program. So you can either become an assistant store manager from around 8 months onwards, you can get promoted if you are able to perform. And secondly, if you want to do visual merchandising or anything else, if you perform on the floor, you will automatically get an opportunity. So you don't have to worry about that. Shall we go forward, Eamon? I think that slide on the role and the cities, I think,
Sure. So these are the locations that we are majorly hiring for, and which is obviously covers the major metro cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, and all of it, and a lot of other 2-tier cities as well. So these are the options that you can go through while giving your preferred location, and accordingly we'll assess the candidates, and basis the requirement, we'll place you there.
Eamon, what brands do you think they can? What brands are we hiring for, Eamon? Any?
So basically, Veera, I'll tell you, we are hiring for a lot of brands. Majorly openings are in Superdry, in Mothercare, in Armani Exchange, in Hunk Mauler. And then we have the other set of brands who are either new stores, which is opening up in different location, or existing replacement hirings. So Akansha, if I'm missing on any specific brand.
That's okay. So Eamon, what you're telling me is, if the candidate is good, you will find them a good fit for whichever brand they're good for. So if they are fit for Canali, you will take them for Canali. If they are fit for Hamleys, you will give them an offer for Hamleys and they take a choice. Am I right in saying that?
Exactly. So we are definitely going to assess them during the interview with respect to what area of interest do they have in terms of the product categories that we have available with us, like formal wear, casual wear, accessory, and accordingly we'll assess them basis their location preference, and obviously the interview round that will happen.
So you're also telling that if they have a location preference, you will help them if there is an opening and if they are suitable in that location. But the choice of brand is not theirs. You will decide. Am I right?
Yes, absolutely, Veera.
Okay, done. Can I also go one step ahead? What is the role like? If you can spend 2 minutes on what the role is like, it will be nice. What do they need to do?
Okay, so basically for a fashion consultant position, the profile is such that you are required to be on the shop floor. It's a 9-hour job, 6 days of work. You do not get to have an off on the weekend, because we understand that malls are usually crowded on the weekend. So we don't give off on the weekends. So you can avail an off in any one of the weekdays. That's one thing of the job profile. Apart from that, if you're a fashion consultant, you are supposed, and you are actually to ensure that you give proper customer service to the customers, whoever is walking in at the store. You're not just responsible for sales. Obviously, that's going to be one of the major KRAs of your job role. But what you're supposed to do is that you have to have a decent understanding of what the brand caters to its customers, and accordingly give them styling suggestions, give them the right kind of product they're looking out for, and ultimately provide a satisfactory customer service. So everybody who is coming to the store, irrespective of whether they are buying something or not from the store, they should leave with a smile on their face. So this is the utmost requirement of the job profile. Apart from that, stock management, ensuring that the stocks are properly managed within the store. Sales is happening as part of what target versus achievement is given to you. Proper knowledge of how to open a store, how to close a store, knowledge of SAP, a very decent knowledge of SAP, MS Excel, report making, and all of that. And majorly, you should be comfortable working in a team. So this is an important factor that will actually help you grow within the organization, help other people to grow, and then accordingly deliver your best. So this is pretty much what the job requirement is all about. In case if you have any questions related to it, please feel free to ask. I'm sure you all are freshers. You might not have a lot of knowledge about the brand, about what's expected out from you, but rest assured, we have a proper orientation program for all our new joinees, wherein we will ensure that if you have the zeal and flair for fashion, if you are well spoken, if you are presentable enough, the rest is on us. We will train you to be a perfect fit for a fashion consultant and ensure that whatever career progression you are looking out for, we are able to kind of provide that to you. Any questions so far?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi.
Hi, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Tamalika. Tell me.
Yeah, so my question was, what's the difference between an intern's portfolio and the portfolio that we submit for a professional job? Like, we are freshers and we don't know, we don't have that much of knowledge or industry experience. So how do we design our portfolio for an internship?
Portfolio with respect to your resume, you were saying, right?
Yeah.
So just a basic knowledge about yourself. It need not be very elaborative considering you all are freshers. It should not be more than 1 page long. Basic details what we as an HR look out for is your educational qualification, your location, your internship experiences in case if you have any. So this is pretty much it what we're looking out for. Even if you do not have any sort of internship experience, we majorly ask people what is their area of interest, what are their hobbies. Many times we have actually hired people from an engineering background to a fashion apparel brand just because they had that flair and interest for fashion. They come to us saying that, what, I'm not really sure of what Armani Exchange as a brand is all about, but I really do follow these many brands in retail and I really would want to kind of learn more of it, and I would want to kind of meet new people and understand the industry in detail. So that is what we actually look out for in our people, the interest to be able to kind of learn something new every day. So this is how you can probably kind of create your profile and prepare yourself for the interview.
And we have our college only for work, like we have our college projects. Can we show that?
I would personally suggest, in case if that's matching to what you're applying for, then yes, you should definitely mention that.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
No problem.
Okay, do we have Shivani from Gurgaon? We had a question from Shivani.
Hi, Shivani.
In the meanwhile, Shivani comes around. Harleen Bhatia has a question on the chat box. She's asking, what are the appraisal criteria and incentive plans?
So appraisal criteria is such that it happens twice a year. Whoever has joined, for example, in the month of 1st October 2020 till 31st December, obviously they'll not be eligible in this year's appraisal cycle. They would be eligible in the October cycle. So I'll tell you, we have 2 cycles, one in April and one in October. Ideally, major portion of the employees get covered in the April cycle itself. But for the people joined in 1st October till 31st December, they must have completed only 2-3 months in the organization. Hence, they do not become a part of the appraisal cycle, but we do not want them to wait for an entire 1.5 years and then sit for an appraisal. And that is the reason why we have another October cycle for these set of specific people. So the entire appraisal cycle is such that we give an assessment to the employee as per the KRA that is set for them. They fill in the entire assessment sheet on an online portal, which we call it as RConnect. They fill and submit it to their managers. The manager review it. In case if they find it satisfactory, they approve it, and then it is processed. So obviously the entire ratings and suggestions assessment is assessed by the finance and HR team. Once it's approved, then the appraisal letters are handed to the employees. So this is the part of the appraisal program. I'll talk about the PLI part. Yeah.
Yeah, Eamon, just one question. So there are a couple of things I see on portfolio. So this is for everybody. We are hiring frontline salespeople. So if you're talking about portfolio as in a fashion portfolio, we don't need any of that. Don't worry about all that. What portfolio? We are not doing that. We are into what is called retail, which means you stand in the store, like Eamon spoke about. You're a fashion consultant. You stand inside the store and you assist customers in making a good choice. And you have a weekly and a monthly target, and you hit that target. So that's the kind of role. So you don't need any portfolio for anything, if that's what people are talking. Eamon, what I just understood, that I think each of these groups have got some questions, but okay. I am thinking that many of them will want to know 2 things. a little bit about the salary, the incentive, and all of that. Do you think it will be good, because we are already at 4:55? Cover
Sure.
that, and then we will take more questions. You can take off the slide also. Yeah.
Sure, no problem. So I'll just give a brief about the salary that we would be offering. Basis the brand that they get shortlisted for, and obviously the interview rounds, which I'll tell in detail later in this slide. We have a bracket of 2.75 lakhs up till 4 lakhs per annum. So that will be dependent on what brand they get shortlisted for, and obviously their RPET test results and everything. So the CTC that we are going to offer is bifurcated into two segments. 80% of CTC is going to be the fixed part, in which you have deductions of PF, gratuity, insurance. That obviously is your own saving and money in a way, which will avail you a lot of benefits later. And the rest 20% of the CTC is the PLI part, which we call it as performance linked incentive, mentioned in the second point here in this slide. So the performance linked incentive is what in a layman language we'll call it as variable. Certain target is given to you, and basis those target, you get to earn that PLI part. For example, if 5,000 is a monthly incentive that a person is eligible to earn, X is considered as 5,000. Now, basis the target versus achievement, there are 4-5 categories basis their ranking in which they will be eligible to earn the incentive. They can either earn half of their X, which in this case is going to be half of their 5,000, or 1X, or 1.5X, or 2X. So these are the 4 bifurcations basis their target versus achievement and ranking in the entire brand's family. They will be able to earn their incentive apart from their fixed in hand part. So I'll just reiterate, in the 80% fixed part, you will have your deductions of PF, your gratuity, and your insurance, and then a take home will be given to you. Apart from that, the rest 20% variable is the incentive part, which is also paid monthly, depending on what target versus achievement criteria you fall into, whether it's going to be 0.5x, 1x, 1.5x, or 2x.
So, Aman, just tell me if I'm right. So if my salary is, let's say, 10,000, 8,000 is the fixed and 2,000 is the variable.
Right.
What you're telling me is, in that 2,000, if I'm a very poor performer, I may only get 1,000, I may even get 0. But if I'm a very good performer, I could get 2,000, 3,000, maybe even 4,000. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. So the ranking is done in such a way that top 10 people get to earn 2x, the next top 10 people get to earn 1.5x, the next 40th percentile people get 1x, and likewise. So this entire ranking set for it.
So which basically means if you're a good performer and you're confident about yourself, this is the place to be in, because you will tend to get more money than what your salary is. Okay, that's one important part. The second thing that you spoke about salary, and correct me if I'm explaining it well, because I don't want them to make a wrong choice. Because we are a very large organization, we also is an organization which go by the rules. We also ensure that what benefits are due to you get. So we are an organization which makes sure you get your provident fund, your gratuity. We make it compulsory for insurance, because we know many people have not insured themselves for themselves and their family, and they're in a lot of difficulty because of somebody fell in. So correct me if I'm right. As part of the salary, you will take off some money for provident fund. That's the employee's money. If I leave, I will get the money. Am I right?
Absolutely. So PF is something that the employee can claim for whenever there's a requirement. Gratuity is something that in other companies, usually people get if they complete 5 years in the organization. But in our company, it is such that the gratuity amount is given to them if they choose to part ways with respect to the pro rata basis. So whatever eligible gratuity amount they're eligible to get, they get that in the form of their full and final settlement.
The only difference is if you complete 5 years, income tax benefit will be there. Otherwise, you'll get the money. Your money is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. And your insurance coverage is for self and immediate family. Am I right?
Yes, exactly. A maximum of 7 direct dependents can be covered in the insurance.
So fantastic. Done. Is there anything else, Ayman?
I think that would be it. I've covered the major part of what the salary structure is going to look like. In case if there's any other query that people may come up with, please feel free to ask.
And it's already 5 o'clock. You want to spend that one slide on? Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yeah.
If you just take them through this, it will be nice, Ayman, and then we will take questions.
Sure. So I'll just take you through the entire selection process. The pre-placement talk has already been done now. The next set of process is going to be an initial screening by the college itself. So we will share with them a set of IRS, the interview rating sheet, in which few major requirements that we already have highlighted throughout our discussion is going to be mentioned there. 4-5 pointers on what we're actually looking out for people. The college will filter those people out with respect to the assessment that they will do and the area of interest of the candidates. And they will then share a list with us of all the shortlisted candidates. Now, those shortlisted candidates, whatever quantity is going to be, whether it's going to be 40, 50 people, they are going to be sharing an introductory video with us, okay, that we will screen further and basis the requirement on whatever brand we have vacancy for and whatever area of location preference that they will mention. Accordingly, we will arrange interviews with the respective HRs of that brand as well as the operations team basis the requirement on the location. So if they get through that particular round, the last round is going to be an RPAT test. It's just a general 12 to 15 minute of assessment test in which you have 50 objective type questions, no negative marking. So that's also one of the qualifying rounds. So once you get through that, then the final salary part is discussed and offer is given to them. Any questions so far with respect to the selection process? If there's any confusion anywhere?
And you can take off the slide if you don't mind. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, Avni, if you're there, Avni from Indore.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Please go ahead with your questions.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. I really want to ask, like, what suggestions or recommendations you have for students for balancing what our job wants or expects from us with what we expect or what we want in our career.
Veera, should I answer that?
Of course, you should answer it.
Okay, all right. So basically, sorry, I didn't get the name who asked this question. Avni.
Yeah, Avni.
Okay, all right. So Avni, it's not very difficult to keep a balance of what is expected out of you and what you are expecting from the organization. It's pretty much an easy balance, and that is what we actually ensure in the company, that what people are looking out for, we provide them in a way that, for example, if you seek a career progression platform in the company with respect to making career in the front end retail sector as well. So we will ensure that we provide you with opportunities which will not just limit yourself to work as a fresh fashion consultant with 1-2 years to come down the line, but also ensure that you get proper set of training with respect to the area of interest you have, and accordingly plan your career ahead. So we will ensure that you do not get stuck in just one place or have your career become stagnant in a point of time. So this is something that we actually kind of majorly focus upon, and I've already highlighted on all the career progression platforms that we have, like IJP, Rock and Rap, that will ensure and help you identify whether you want to make your career in the front end or the back end level. I hope I have been able to answer your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Just one moment. There is a question in the chat box, Simon. How do they need to apply? So,
all right. With respect to applying for the job opening, you have two options. One, obviously, we will share the IRS with the campus. They must have already shared the openings with you. You have to share the details, get properly screened, and accordingly we'll take it ahead from there with respect to the interview rounds that I've spoken about. Apart from that, if for whatever reasons you tend to miss this opportunity, or you decide to kind of reapply after 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, we have a careers page called rblcareers.in, wherein we post all the open positions with respect to the brands that we have pan-India. So if you wish to apply on any of the brands as per your interest, you can also do that as well. So these are 2 options available for you.
Thank you very much, Ayman. So,
No problem.
Ayman, you will send a note. Rishabh, you'll have to coordinate whoever is a person from your side. Between Ayman and Akanksha, they'll send you a note which will give you all the details of how to shortlist, what should be on the video, everything will be there. There's a faculty from Jodhpur who has asked a question. So I'm going to repeat. We will send a note of the requirements to INIFD. Somebody will circulate this to all your 70+ institutes, and the shortlist will come from there. So my request to all students, if you're looking for a career, wait for 1 day and then speak to the faculty in your particular institute. They will be able to help you with this. Akanksha, if you don't mind, yeah, in the chat box, can you just put our career page so people can see it? It'll be nice.
Sure, Veera.
In the meantime, Kashish from Ludhiana, Faria from Lucknow, whoever of you is available, please go ahead with your questions.
Hi, sir. Am I audible?
You are.
Thank you. So my question for you is that what major skills and fundamental knowledge does a fresher needs to carry along if he or she is getting a job, say a luxury brand manager?
So what I've understood from your question is, Kashish, you want to know basic skills that's required for a fashion consultant position that you're looking out for, right? Apart from the educational background, I have already said that obviously this does play a major role in terms of understanding what fashion retail is all about. If apart from that you have flair for fashion, a decent understanding of fashion retail, the trends that are going on, plus you are good with communication skills, you enjoy interacting with people, there are a lot of people who can easily make new friends. Those are the kind of personality we actually look out for. People who are talkative, people who can engage people in conversations, people who want to look good and present themselves well. Because ultimately it's the brand that they will be kind of representing on its behalf, whether it's going to be a super dry or a Scotch and soda or an Armani exchange. So those kind of personality we look out for, who is energetic, who has that hunger to grow, and obviously well presented in good communication skills.
Thank you.
No problem.
Yes, Faria, go ahead.
Good evening.
Hi,
Hello?
good evening. Good evening. Please tell me.
Ma'am, actually, I want to know about that if I'm doing the job, then I want to know that how my supervisor will evaluate my performance.
How are you going to evaluate your performance is what you're asking.
No, how will my supervisor will evaluate my performance? On what basis?
So basically, there are certain key results area, which in short form we call it as KRA, that's set for people. The entire KRA is handed over to the new joinee in the time of their joining. So the expectations are set very clear with respect to these are the areas in which you have to deliver your best. And it's not just limited to sales, like I've already highlighted in the beginning. Obviously, that's going to be one major area in which weightage is going to be put more, but a lot of other factors also do follow. So with respect to your set KRA, you will be assessed.
Thank you.
Faria, and for everybody else, when you're a fashion consultant, a large part of your job role is around achieving your targets. So broadly in retail, there are 3 to 4 store level targets. There is what is called achievement against target. There is achievement against target on total sales, achievement against target on what's called UPT, units per transaction, achievement against target on ATVs, which is average transaction value. These are the 3 broad things that you will look at. And of course, conversions. Now it's a little difficult to manage conversions. 70–80% of your performance is based on this. Next, there is mystery audit score, which is a number. there is your discipline and training and your knowledge. So the beauty of retail industry is that everything is number driven. The boss cannot say, I don't like Faria. If Faria delivers the numbers, it is recorded on the computer. Khatam ho gaya. There is no story behind it. Okay. So that's a large part of what.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, do we have Shruti from Patiala, Pune, Kondwa, Sian? Whoever is ready, please ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to ask a question. Ma'am, I wanted to know, would it be possible for freshers to work in the designing departments under all these prestigious brands?
Hi, Sian. Not at the moment. You will have to go to the website called rblcareers.in and apply that separately. This particular campus recruitment is only for retail stores. If you're looking for something, go to the careers page. There could be opportunities that will come up.
Okay.
But in today's conversation on retail.
So Dhananjay, Koregaon Park.
Yeah, good evening. My question was, when are we bringing in so many international brands to our country? And what are the advisors to indigenous brands, and how can we make them sought after brands internationally?
Dhananjay, you have to just repeat. You're asking, we are bringing international brands. How can we make it?
No, I was asking, when are we bringing in so many international brands to our country? And what are the advices to indigenous brands, and how can we make them sought after brands internationally?
So Dhananjay, to be honest with you, this conversation was more about recruitment and placement rather than a broader question like what you have asked, because paucity of time and in terms of what we want to achieve today in terms of giving opportunities, it may be a little difficult for me to answer that question.
Yeah.
And I may not even, I am not the expert in that.
Okay.
Okay. So I will let it pass if you don't mind.
Yeah, okay, for sure.
Yeah. Rishabh?
I guess we might just take a couple of questions from YouTube. Let me just go through the questions on YouTube. I'll copy them for you.
Yeah, and Rishabh, in the meanwhile, between Akanksha and Ayman, they will answer the questions because I need to drop out. I have one request, Akanksha and Ayman. Before the questions come in summary, can you just quickly talk about what the process is going forward one more time so that everybody is aware that they will have to speak to their own faculty before they go forward. And then you will send the faculty the system or what we are going to do. Yeah, I think it's important to do that once again because that's the most important part.
Sure, Veera. So I'll just quickly reiterate on the entire selection process. It's going to be such that we are going to be sending an IRS to the college, to your respective college, in which our basic assessment criteria will be mentioned in the form of Excel sheet. The college will assess the set of students who are interested with respect to the criteria we are sharing with them. Okay, so accordingly, the entire filtered candidate will be sent to us, the list of which is going to be sent to us. These students, shortlisted ones, will have to make an introductory video of themselves. So I was just reading through the chat. One of the student has asked as in what are the pointers that need to be covered in the introductory video. So I'll just give you an idea. First of all, the major area of something that you have to kind of keep in mind while making the video is keep the camera at a distance wherein almost half of your body is visible, so that no background noise or no background is a disturbance. Be presentable at the time of video and be confident of what you're speaking about. A very basic introduction about yourself, your educational qualification, your hobbies, what have you done so far with respect to in terms of any internships, if any, or any projects that you have worked upon during your college days. And lastly, what value will you be able to add if you get selected? Obviously, I'm assuming if you are going to be making a video, you already will be going through the entire company's portfolio on our social media pages, and you will have an idea of what the brand is all about. And accordingly, the last question should cover of what value will you be able to add in case if you get selected, should be the concluding lines on the particular video that you will share as an introductory video for us. Out of the people who get shortlisted by us, from that introductory video, we'll have to go through a personal round of interview with the brand's HR as well as the operations person. So if the person gets shortlisted by the respective HR VPs and the operations person of that particular brand, we will have your RPAT test arranged. I'll reiterate, RPAT test is a very general assessment test of 12 to 15 minute duration. It only has 50 set of questions, which is objective type, and there's no negative marking. So obviously the time duration is less, and it requires a lot of presence of mind at that point of time to appear and answer all the questions within just 12 to 15 minutes of duration. So that is going to be the last assessment round for you all. And lastly, if you get through it, then the salary will be discussed with you and offer is going to be rolled out to you. So that is going to be pretty much the entire selection process.
Eva, I think you've already answered the questions that we had on YouTube also. Those were related to the test and video. So I guess we are good to go. Anybody has any other question? Shraddha, you've raised hand. If you want to ask anything, please go ahead. Else we can conclude the session, I guess.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is, what will be the onboard and training process look like?
So training will start from day one of your joining. So whenever your joining is going to be, like I said, we already have our orientation program in place, wherein we'll start giving you gist of what is going to be expected out of you on day one. What is going to be the do's and don'ts with respect to the uniform that you have to wear on day one, or wearing masks at all time, or gloves, or how to interact with the customer. So a very basic idea will automatically be given to you after your documentation is completed before joining. Okay, and on the day of joining, your store manager has a list of the programs that he's supposed to give you a training about. It basically covers the entire list of training with respect to educating you on the company's culture, educating you on the brand's knowledge, the product knowledge, how to open a store, close a store, deal with a customer, handling the machines and everything. So within those first week of your joining, the entire training will be given to you.
Does that answer your question, Shraddha? Good. We've lost her, I guess.
Yeah. Also reiterating on the factor, in case if you wish to search more about our brands, do follow us on our social media pages. We have a page on LinkedIn, we have a page on Instagram and Facebook as well, wherein you will get to know the entire company's culture as well as the employee side of the story as well. So you will have an idea of what the company has to offer to its people as well as what's happening inside the company. So I'm sure you will have a lot of idea with respect to that. I think that would be it from my side.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Any question?
Deepshika is asking, what are various channels by which a fresher can approach a retail brand for internship or jobs? You can, like we said, follow the entire job openings on the careers page. Apart from that, follow us on LinkedIn. All of us HRBPs majorly post our job and vacancies on LinkedIn as well. In case if you wish to apply, you can directly write a comment or share your profile with us. Our email IDs are already mentioned there. And apart from that, I guess, yeah, that would be pretty much it of how you can get to know about the latest vacancies.
And we've shared the link for the RBL career page also, so you can follow that page as well.
I think
Okay.
that would be it.
We have one student joining in, Shruti from Patiala. Shruti, if you're already there, please ask your question.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Shruti Walia from INIFD Patiala.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. And my question is, what is the future in retailing?
So I'm assuming you've joined slightly late. Veera already highlighted this, that, this particular session is majorly to kind of explain you what the job profile is all about and the entire recruitment process. So I am not going to be the right person to explain you about this particular question in detail.
Okay, and then I understand this, but what the importance of the growth? How can I be establish my own retailing procedure? My question is that only.
So you need to ask this question, from yourself, Shruti, whether you're interested in fashion or not, whether you want to kind of be on the other side of the table wherein you are interacting with customers well, because a lot of people do tend to have this criteria of directly wanting to go in the back end. But what we suggest is, unless you don't understand your front end retail customers well, you'll not be able to understand the requirement of the customers, of whichever brand you're going to be a part of. So it's very important to be able to be a part of the front end level, to cater them, to understand, and then accordingly, eventually you will be able to realize that, whether you're actually interested in doing that particular job or not. You will be able to identify whether back end suits you well or front end suits you well. And accordingly, you can decide your career progression from there on.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right, I guess that's it.
Yes, Rishabh. So can we wind up the call now?
Yep, we can. Thank you for joining in and enlightening our students. On behalf of INIFD, thank all of you.
Thank you so much.